Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Wizards Outlook. It's the front end of a very late night back to back for the Washington Wizards. They took on the LA Lakers tonight. Well, short while ago, they took on the LA Lakers. Game started last night. Later this evening, they'll be taking on the Clippers. But as far as this game goes, it was a tough one for Washington. It was another game where they were beyond competitive in this one, but those little things we've been talking about again, there's been a theme this season. Those things reared their head at some of the worst times, but let's get through it. It was a back and forth affair for much of the night. If you were a fan of defense, it was a very rough night for you. Neither team was able to stack consistent stops long enough to take big leads. Typically, when one of these teams went on a run, the other one responded rather easily at that. Washington was able to take a lead late. They like maybe 2 minutes left on a runner by Kyle Kuzma. But literally on the ensuing possession, it was answered by Austin Reeves. Again, just explaining the type of night it was. Both teams shot over 50% from the floor. The difference being Washington shot like 41% from deep. The Lakers shot 30% from deep, but the Lakers made it the difference at the foul line. Washington was 10 to 12 from the line. The Lakers, expected you at home. Bit more of a generous whistle. That said, they were getting to the basket a bit more, drawing some contact. They were 20 to 24 from the line, which kind of offset the 8 to 23 shooting from deep. Anthony Davis was huge in this one. Washington didn't really have an answer for him at all tonight. He was very efficient. He did not take a three. Got a lot of work scoring either off post-ups, some off second chance points. More often than not, just simple pick and roll. D'Angelo Russell also helped. The LA's coming off the win over the Clippers. The last night when they rallied from 21 down. D'Lo's past couple games starting to get into a nice flow for the Lakers. The Wizards had 5 players scoring double figures tonight, with Jordan Poole having another huge night. Maybe a week ago, he had a 31-point game here at home. Washington was unable to win, and we're going to touch on that a little bit more before we get out of here about Washington winning in this month and the struggles. But he had 34 tonight. Marvin Bagley had 23. Again, 5 players in double figures for Washington. They got to see the return of Denny Avdia. It was good to see him back, and he had a really productive night, 15 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal. Washington sorely needed that production back. Reeves, jumping into the end of regulation. Reeves tied the game late. Washington had the final possession. The ball stayed in Jordan Poole's hand. Washington took their time, so LA was able to foul. They had a foul to give. They used it with 4.7 seconds left in regulation. Then Washington inbounds the ball to Poole. This time LeBron's on him. Credit LeBron for some good defense. Poole wasn't able to get a clean enough look. It was an errant shot. They headed to the extra period. And defense, again, still not really seen in the free basketball period. LeBron did have a very nice chase down block after Washington got a turnover. And that was kind of the story of it, too. Washington not being able to capitalize on the opportunities that they did get to either tie the game or go ahead. So it was a pocket pass. Kuzma tips it. Poole gets it out in transition. He goes to dunk it on the right side of the rim. LeBron did what he's done to smart players in that situation multiple times in his illustrious career. Blast it. They get the ball back in swing possession. Bron hits a three. Both teams almost all night kind of pleading with the refs to get some calls. Feel like it's a physical game. Obviously, I think that's part of it. When you take on the Lakers, especially in their house, when their defense is operating at a high clip, they're very physical on that end. It wasn't operating at a high clip, so I think that was some of the Washington players just wanted to bring it to the refs' attention to try to get to the line. That wasn't it, though. I think it was the minute 41 left in the extra period. Denny drives on LeBron. Denny and Kuz love bully ball thing on their drives. LeBron did a good job staying square, so Denny couldn't kind of get his shoulders by him to roll through that contact. Initially, it was called a block. The Lakers called a timeout. They challenged it. Surprised they won the challenge, and the call is overturned. And at that time, I want to say that the Lakers had a 2-point lead at the time, so they got the ball back, which was huge. Area 11T, I see you staying up this late. It means you just finished watching the game. I'll get to your comments in just a little bit. So you had that call, that overturn. That was another missed opportunity. James then drew a foul on the other end, coming off a screen, gets downhill, goes to the line. He splits the pair, but former Wizard Rui Hachimura gets the offensive rebound. The Lakers couldn't convert, so Washington was down 3. Jordan Poole then takes a Levi's triple that was kind of contested. A good defense in that moment by the Lakers, although I feel like Jordan could have got a better shot. But Washington was bailed out because on the ensuing possession, LA goes to get the ball to AD. Reeves hits AD. He dribbles it off his foot. So with 17.3 seconds left, Lakers have a 3-point lead. It's Washington's ball. They have all the time in the world to milk the clock if they so choose. Take a shot with the clock winding down. Hopefully, possibly get a second opportunity in case the shot doesn't fall. Kuzma gets the rock. Former Wizard Rui Hachimura is guarding him. Thought it was decent defense by Rui, and again, similar to the Jordan Poole shot I talked about a little bit ago. Just felt like maybe they could have got a better shot. Bagley taps out the offensive rebound, but Kuz had already kind of started the retreat back, started the backpedal to get back on defense, and the ball bounces to Rui at half court. He gets it out of his hands, and that was game. That was Washington's 13th loss in a row. And to add insult to injury to a degree, that officially means with the month ending, they ended February without registering a win. They had 12 games this month. Were able to get a win at all. Again, we talked multiple times about where the state of this team is, ground zero for rebuild and whatnot. That's still a really rough month to have, regardless of what's going on. And then talk about some of those late game decisions, what have you. Washington struggled with this over time this year. Those decisions more often. I know we talk about so many different things, but their shot selection, it comes back far too often, kind of haunt them at times. Obviously, both teams have pros on there. It's gonna be teams that play really good defense. This wasn't one of those nights. Neither team played good defense. You had little rare moments here and there, but felt like on 2 of their possessions late, and also in regulation late, Washington they settled for shots. I feel like they could have got better shots. Matter of fact, they did get better shots throughout the course of the game. But shout out to the Lakers for holding Washington off. But yeah, that's definitely a tough one. Corey Kispert come off the bench with 20. So with him and Poole, was that 54 points off the bench? Rashawn Holmes at his 7, 40 plus off the bench tonight. 5 players in double figures, and you can't walk out of LA with the dub. As I mentioned earlier, they don't have a lot of time to get over it. They take on the Clippers later this evening, but we'll get to play the game in this one. LeBron went crazy with 31, 4, and 9. It was AD, man. Washington couldn't do anything with him. He finished the game shooting 14 of 22 from the floor. He was 12 of 13 from the line, 40 points, 15 rebounds, 3 blocks, and he altered multiple other shots throughout the course of the game. Several hustle plays at times to save possessions or gain possessions at times as well for LA. He was huge. X Factor, just D'Lo. 22 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. You're coming into this game having to deal with LeBron and AD. After that, any other Laker that steps up is in the running for X Factor that night. It's not to knock anybody over there, but it's that dynamic duo, and then whoever's able to step up that night, right? It was D'Lo. Big night from him. He didn't shoot it well from the floor, but some of his baskets were very, very timely for them. So you got to give them credit for that. To these comments, our team's top players have an IQ of a donut. Look, I'm not going that far. It's tough, man. It's those decisions late in games, man. They really come back to bite them. Honestly, wouldn't be mad if the young guys wanted to leave after this year, whether they want to or not. Like they're here, and I'm sure this is extremely frustrating as a fan. So I'm not one, so I can't relate to it in that degree. But look, man, it's part of it. It stinks. I'm sure it's tough to digest this much of it. But you know, your silver lining tonight, you saw Denny Avdia come back and kind of pick up where he left off. He's playing well before he got hurt. 15 points, 15 boards, 13 on the defensive end, which they sorely needed tonight. But yeah, this was just a tough one. Give credit to Poole. It was good to see him kind of starting to come alive. And who knows, like how this year ends for him. I do think it's important, regardless of what Washington ends up doing, especially if he is, in fact, here next year. He needs to figure this out so they can get off to a much better start in year 2 of this rebuild. But they got the Clippers later this evening. So I'm going on strike if I'm them. Be tired of it. Hey man, you're a youngster on the team, man. You just gotta thug your way through this. And they gotta figure it out. Hopefully they get Bilal back soon. I know he's out with the pelvis injury after taking that tough fall a couple games ago. But yeah, man, it was big opportunities. The tough part, the part that's one thing that sucks for me, like these winnable games for Washington is I highly doubt that the Clippers defense is going to be as lax as the Lakers was tonight. I mean, we'll see. Obviously, don't know until they tip things off later this evening, but we'll definitely see. Appreciate your Area 11T being up in the comment section right now. Anyone else? But y'all have a good evening. Don't forget you on IG. Hit the comment section. We're checking. We'll see y'all later this evening as the Wizards take on Los Angeles Clippers.